this is UC Berkeley. I'm going to tell you about my experience as an art major and what it taught me about the creative professions. But first, a little B-roll. Most of my class time as an undergrad was spent here in Kroeber Hall.
Kroeber Hall is a 3-story building that houses both the art and anthropology majors.
Administrative offices are here on the 3rd floor. Most of the art classes are here on the 2nd floor. And most of the galleries are down here on the 1st floor. You have both the galleries over there, and as we walk down the hall, you'll see the Worth Ryder Gallery where the official student art shows take place. I made a lot of friends in my Berkeley days. However, I wasn't the most beloved art major, so it's no surprise that despite the number of friends that I made while I was here at Berkeley, very few of them actually came from my own major. I also didn't stay in contact with any of the faculty members. There were between a half dozen and a dozen students sprinkled throughout the major that were clear favorites, and I definitely wasn't one of them. During my 2 years here, I developed a reputation as someone who didn't really care much about art, and I can understand that perception. When I first arrived in Berkeley as a junior college transfer in 2010, the first thing I wanted to do was enroll in math and science courses. I mean, I began college as a math major, so clearly I had an interest in math. I eventually switched to psychology and then eventually art, so I became known among my art classmates as the math guy. Then in one of my art classes, the teacher gave us all one-on-one progress reports in her office, and she sat me down and said, if the class were to end today, I'd give you a C. You're a great artist, but you just don't give a damn. And this is one of the first times I realized how the art major actually prepares people for professional careers in art. Art is a very personality-driven profession. If you ever wondered why some artists become famous and other equally talented artists don't, it's because the artists that become famous, they're able to use their personalities to self-promote. Half your grade as a Berkeley art student is giving the perception that you care about what you do. And I learned the hard way that if your goal is to be an A student, you're better off having limited talent, but convincing others that you really care about what you do, than you are being really talented and giving off the perception that you don't really care very much. And personally, I'm a results-driven person, which is why I gravitate more toward design than art. And this was reflected in my projects as an undergrad. I'd say about 95% of the grades I received on projects were Bs. Teachers and students believed the execution was there, but that the emotion just wasn't. Which, I mean, I guess you could probably tell by the way I speak how I give off that perception. But anyway. And I believed this happened in part because back then I didn't really know the difference between art and design. Art is a form of communication, while design is a way of creative problem solving. And had I known this as a student, I probably would have been closer to an A student than a B student who believed that designing a basketball arena could get him more than a B on a senior project. However, I don't regret my design-first approach to my undergrad art studies. The success I've seen in my design career in recent months suggests that I'm on my way to achieving financial success that most art majors just don't ever see. At least not without, transitioning into fields that are completely unrelated to art. And that leads me to one of the most popular art and design questions, which is, should artists or designers go to university? And that question depends on many factors. I would say if your goal is just to learn art and design, or art or design, I mean, you could just go onto YouTube and look at any tutorial, or pay for some online courses like lynda.com and get the knowledge for pennies on the dollar. But if you want the university experience, you'll definitely be better off going to a traditional school. And this is especially if you get accepted to a place like this. I mean, if you get accepted to UC Berkeley or any University of California school, or any really well-known school, you should really take that opportunity and go, because Not just because it looks good on a resume, but if you spend your first year or two in the dorms, you're gonna make a lot of friends here. Anyway, I wish I had more to talk about, but when I was creating the Google Doc to get my topics off of for this video, I had to split the time between creating this doc and editing and uploading a YouTube video last night. So I'm gonna go grab lunch.